Mindia, Mind of India.
The story of the unremembered Indian soldiers who fought in World War II came about through my research on partition. The fact that 2.5 million Indians fought in World War II, and I find that number staggering because it's a huge contribution. And my question has always been, and still continues to be, is why is that not part of our larger history? The story is untold for a lot of complicated reasons, and I'm still unraveling some of those reasons. But from my understanding and from talking to different families, a huge issue was that this 2.5 million Indians were taking orders from their British colonizers. And since India and South Asia became independent soon after, they didn't want to acknowledge that contribution. So when I came to India 6 months ago, I gave a talk for the Chennai Photo Biennale, and to publicize the talk, a newspaper did an article about my project, and a family who live in Darjeeling read that article and contacted me. Her father, his name is Lieutenant General Kalla, 6 months after getting married, left to fight in World War II. And when he was in Libya, he was captured as a prisoner of war and was taken to Italy. And while in Italy, in the camp, he kind of picked up some Italian, and he and a friend managed to escape from the camp. And because he knew the smattering of Italian, he was able to convince an Italian farming family to hide he and his friend. And he was a Sikh gentleman and wore a turban. And the farmer asked him to cut his hair so that he could pass as Italian. After the war was over, he came back to India. But over the years, they continued exchanging letters back and forth. And after he died, his daughter went back to Italy and met with his family because they had this special bond. I'm interested in illuminating this hidden history because I think the contributions of the 2.5 million Indians need to be acknowledged without taking any political sides. And I think art is a way to be able to do that through the visual, create interest in this history and learn more about who these people were as individuals rather than just a statistic. I've been giving talks all over the country to different kinds of audiences, giving talks about the work in progress, but hopefully to activate a base so that they'll send me more photographs and stories. The reactions to the show and to my talks have often been, "Oh, I didn't know this history. How come we didn't know this history?" That's one half of the audience. The other half of the audience stand up and tell me stories of their ancestors who fought in World War II and are so touched that they are now being remembered. One of the things I'm very clear about is that I want to show this work both in India and in England because both countries are complicit for why this history is not known. And I think for a younger generation and for everyday people outside of the military, I think a project like this can pique their interest to learn more about these people and learn more about our histories. The generosity of the people has been amazing in terms of helping me collect these photographs. And I think one of my goals is not to erase any history, but to add to the history that we already know. In terms of India getting independence, we all know about the Quit India movement. Especially because of the Red Fort trials we know of the INA. I would add that there's 2.5 million Indians who fought for the Allies and were critical for winning World War II should also be acknowledged and be part of our larger history as we move forward.